morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel L. Conner. Welcome to Premarket Info.
It's earnings season. Finally, we're going to maybe see some action. We got three companies that reported last night, and Costco reported this morning. Alcoa and Yum reporting last night. FedEx boosts its profit goal for the next 3 years. They're trying to make an extra $1.7 billion. That's giving the stock a lift. CVX lowers guidance. Had trouble in that 118 handle and now is falling off and is in the 115 handle. And Apple was absolutely crazy yesterday. Joel, what about this CVX?
Oh boy, we had been talking about it on the weekly outlook, that 118 handle, we just counted up before the show started. What did I say? It traded over there like 9 or 10 times.
Yeah.
And was never, ever able to close there. Highest close is 117.85. Tight ranges for the last couple of weeks, and then kaboom. A little news out of the company. The technicals go out the door. 114.81 is the pre-market low. After that, you got to bounce to 116 and currently trading right in the middle. That 115.50 area is a huge level. We are trading it below that level now. I think if you get above that, you get a little bit of a short covering rally.
Yeah, that 118 number, absolutely huge. It was 9 times that it had traded up into the 118 handle and could never close in the 118 handle. And that's all over the course of the last month. I've drawn it there on the chart. I've also drawn the 115.50 number that you were just talking about. That was the old support area. We are through that right now, but not much, and we're still an hour before the open. So 115.25 trading at an hour before the open. It could get back up above there, and if it does open above there, that still remains support. Obviously, if it starts cutting through 115, then it starts to open up again. Basically, their update was they said that Q3 will be substantially lower than Q2, so the wording was not nice, and that's what is selling the stock off. Yum reported last night as well, and that stock is getting a good lift here in the pre-market. $69 actually went ex-dividend for 33 cents too, so there's an extra 33 cents for those people who took it home. 69.20 where it's trading after closing at 65.70. They beat by a couple of cents, but they raised full year guidance.
New all-time highs for Yum here. Looking at the pre-market activity, I mean, this stock has just got another boost here. No, actually, that's not a new all-time high. No, I know. Bite my tongue. That's 2 mistakes I made in 2 days. I can't believe it. 69.20 pre-market high, just hanging out at that level. You did have a high at 69.21 on September 21st. So let's keep an eye on that area. That will act as a minor support point now. Coming back, we look at yesterday's range. We got a ways to get back down to 68.29. But this swing area here, 69.21 up to the pre-market high, 69.34, should be an interesting trade off the open.
First time we've been up here in 5 months, so I gotta think there's going to be some institutional selling pressure at the whole number 70. So don't be surprised you see some high frequency resistance in the higher 69s. We're at 69.34 right now, so we aren't quite up to there. What was the after hours high, Joel? Did you have that in front of you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mentioned that. 69.34. Yep,
okay, we're right there. We're right at the after hours high. So keep an eye on that $70 level if you are looking for resistance. Should just mention McDonald's. It did get a lift off of the Yum earnings last night in the after hours session. Is up a little bit this morning as well. 92.50 after closing at 92.11. So the Yum earnings helping it along here. Got a big number up there at 94. Not much between there, though, between 92.50 and 94. Probably a little bit at 93. Where it traded up to 93 last night, too, did it not?
Yeah, it actually traded over 93, got to 93.18 just on a quick trade after the Yum earnings. Not a lot of volume. Looking at yesterday's range, 92.60. We currently are trading right near that level, so let's keep an eye on yesterday's high. Above that, you're right, there is air up to the $94 level.
Alcoa reported earnings last night. The stock initially got a pop. They beat by 3 cents. It got up to 9.40 and then turned around and started selling off. Actually, it's trading down 10 cents now at 9.03. I took a speculative play. I actually bought the 9.50 calls for 7 cents there right before just yesterday afternoon, just in case the stock came out and really beat. I figured, 7 cent risk, I'll try it. Obviously, that didn't work out, so I'm going to end up losing my 7 cents probably on it. But the stock's trading 9.04 right now, is trading down.
Yeah, looking at the pre-market, it did get that spike up to 940. I'm sure there's a lot of orders out there. It did actually trade some pretty good volume on that bounce, but couldn't sustain it. We got an 895 low in the pre-market. Really, that $9 area has really been holding in there the last couple days. Below that, multiple lows in the 880 area. So really needs to hold $9 in order to get a chance to go back up to yesterday's high at 9.25.
Costco also reported earnings here this morning, and they beat handily $1.39 against estimates of $1.31. Stock is trading up $2.65 this morning at 102.30, closed at 99.64. So Costco getting a nice lift here. We did have a high from 3 days ago. I know Joel probably pointed out 102.40 on the 5th. That's probably your first area of resistance, and interesting enough, the stock's trading right there right now.
Yeah, 102.40. Looking at the pre-market, though, Dennis, we snuck over that
Yeah.
103 level. 103.16 has been the pre-market high, so let's keep an eye on that. Of course, you got the all-time high at
That's a
103.51.
big number.
Yeah, that's your big. I mean, I like Costco. I mean, I do. I go there, I shop there. It always costs me a couple $100, and
Get a lot of
good
stuff.
service. Yeah, I mean it's hard when just got three people in the house. You go there, you can buy enough to feed an army, but don't need that much ketchup. But it's a good company and they've been performing well.
Yeah, the stocks just keep slowly grinding. It's this grind north for feels like years, anyways, that it's been grinding north. But keep an eye on that all-time high, 103.51. That should be a decent number, possibly, to get you some resistance off the hop. Chevron in the news there. We talked about it already, but what about Exxon Mobil here, Joel? Because sometimes Exxon can move with Chevron. 92.02 is where it's trading, just down only 10 cents here. But unlike Chevron, which had topped out, Exxon actually took out its resistance point, which was at that 92 and
Yeah.
a half area.
Yeah, I've seen in the pre-market we've got a low down to 91.91. That's critical support for this stock. We've had a couple lows in that area. In fact, that 91.91 is the 4-day low. Monday's low right around 92. I don't have my montage up. Is it offered down below 92 or not?
No, it's just offered 92.13, so it's just offered flat right now,
Hmm.
and it's bid at 91.97, so there's actually a bid there too down. So it's interesting that ExxonMobil seems to be shrugging off the Chevron news because those often do move in sympathy
Yeah.
together. But there's not a lot of action. Only 1,000 shares here traded, just down 10 cents. I would have thought maybe if Chevron fell $2 like it
Well,
has,
yeah.
that ExxonMobil would fall 50 cents, and it hasn't. So keep an eye out on that. It's showing some okay relative strength here in the pre-market.
Yeah, also going back to the Chevron, I can remember when it came out around when it was trading around the 105 area. They came out and said, "Hey, we're looking good on our earnings. We're looking good for at least the next quarter." And boy, the market took that information and took it straight up north. Now they're coming up and saying, "Hey, we're going to be a little light here in the pocketbook." The company was right, on the guidance on the way up. Perhaps they're going to be correct on the guidance on the way down as well.
Yeah, interesting note there. Avnet AVT might be your disaster stock of the day. It's trading down 11% right now. It's fighting with FOE, which is down 14%. But Avnet came out substantially reduced guidance, 52 cents to 58. Estimates were up at 83. The stock is trading down $3 right now, 25.36 after closing at 28.57. We got to go out to the weeklies to try to find you some support. And if you look back in July of 2011, we had a low on the button at 23.69 actually. We had the low on back, so we're ways from there. But this whole $25 area kind of looks like it has some area support there too.
At least on my charts, it does. Down, looking at the pre-market, we did get down to 25.05. Thin issue here. Very little volume is traded, but keep an eye on that 25.05 level. For me, going out on the monthlies here, you had a low at 24.41 back in October of 2011. But I'll defer to you on this one because when we were talking about that EW yesterday, the life sciences, I thought it might get a little bit of a pop, and you said, "Hey, this is a thin bugger, and people are going to be out
Yeah,
there with an axe," and that thing just kept on going down too.
yeah.
So,
You get these
uh,
thin stocks, they can continue to sell off. There's just not a lot of liquidity there, not a lot of participants willing to step up with bids. So you got to be really careful when you're picking bottoms on the thinner issues. You get stocks like like the Chevron. There's participants that are always trading that, so there always seems to be somebody willing to bid for that stock. But some of these littler ones, sometimes there isn't, and it can get really thin.
and that's a very substantial reduction in the earnings. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. Take what guiding down 30 cents lower. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
huge.
a big lower there, so definitely going to be under some pressure here today. I think we missed FedEx there, Joel. FedEx had a goal there. We talked about it in the headline, but their goal is to boost profit by 1.7 billion over the next 3 years by cutting costs. So the
Hmm.
stock is trading up here. Here's one that's formed a nice bottom down here in this 84 area. A real nice bottom that actually coincided well with the June bottom, which we
Yep.
got down to 83.80. And we started to come out of there, and we came back and just to retest a little bit there yesterday. It closed near the low 85.58, but now is taking off, trading 87.65. They say mostly they're going to be getting some buyouts of their employees, which should help with their costs.
Yeah, I mean, this is their goal. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're going to accomplish it. And it doesn't mean that they're going to accomplish it on the open. So I'm a little skeptical here. This pop is over a $2 pop on 14,000 shares on a hypothetical example of cutting costs. I mean, it's a good goal. I would keep an eye on 88.33. That was the high on September 18th. I believe they delivered some bad news that day because they gapped down from 88.92. Believe that was something on guidance. So to me, 88.33 is going to be a very, very important level.
Better talk about UPS because it does often move in
Hmm.
sympathy with FedEx too. No trades to report yet on UPS this morning, but it is bid up. 73 and a quarter is the bid offered at
Ooh, look at that
73.56.
$74 level,
It looks like a
Dennis.
big number there too. Gets above there, it could get exciting, but there's some one, two, three tops there from the last 3 days, so that might be where it sniffs up to today again.
Yeah, that certainly hasn't gotten the bounce that FedEx has, but nevertheless, there's really not much up there until the $74 level. I think you break above 74, you should get a nice, nice run here. Looking at some of the pre-market activity, you've got up to 73.31, so minor resistance there. But really, that 74 is a huge level.
74 is huge. I think you meant
The
the
number of the day,
yeah.
74, the number of the day, UPS.
Just quickly, let's talk about Wells Fargo here because it reports on Friday, and the stock actually had a really bad day yesterday. The stock was trading up 36, and boom, just kind of started falling off in the afternoon there. I'll just bring up the chart for you, and really got hurt right towards the end of the day. Got to 35, bounced a little bit, but stock not looking that great. But it is coming into some area where it's found support before.
I believe there was some news associated with that. I believe some kind of another mortgage debacle, something. Saw that just hit the tape real quick. Couple things to note here on the Wells Fargo. Number one, we went up through the low 35 area up to 35.66 on October 3rd. Just blew through that area. Lo and behold, we took out the double bottom yesterday at 35.63.64, and whoosh, we went right back down to 34.97. So just kind of going back to the theory of when stocks blow through an area on the upside, they often blow through it on the downside. Really have to keep an eye on yesterday's low, 34.97. That's also supported by the 5-day low, which is 34.90. Real good support there. coming back on the upside. I mean, you will definitely run into resistance at that old double bottom 35, 63, 64 if we can get back up there.
It was a crazy day for Apple yesterday. Obviously, we had been talking early in the week about the head and shoulders and the cutting through the 650. It did that. And then yesterday, it looks like it might have made a bottom here. It really got the selling got vicious there, and it got down to 623.55. And then all of a sudden, everybody and Apple likes to do this. It likes to make V bottoms. A lot of other stocks we say like Microsoft and different things will make a double bottom or triple bottom to give you a chance. Apple
Nope.
doesn't like to do that. Apple likes to make V bottoms, and this is a V right here. 623 up to 640 is pulling back here. But obviously, if it gets back down to the 620, like I was saying, it doesn't like to make double bottoms, so I'd be nervous almost if it got back there. I wonder if you caught a few people short here yesterday.
Yeah, we got down to 623 double. Was looking at the August 13th low at 623 and a quarter as major support. Obviously, when you have a number like that in a thin traded issue, I guess it trades a lot of volume, but not much at each price. It's only 100 shares. People started at the 625, perhaps a 624 level. Now the tricky part is on the upside here, Dennis. You have 640.49 as yesterday's high. Looking at the pre-market activity, it's just been a steady climb. The high right now is 639.94 currently where we're trading. I think you just have to look at that 640.49 yesterday if you're trying to short this thing. Above that area, there's really nothing in the book here up till 647, which is Monday's high.
Yeah, if it starts to open up, it does open up farther up. Talking to my buddy there, Chris, about he's like the Apple trader. This guy's a genius in Apple, and basically yesterday he was saying that Apple iPad Mini still due to come out here, and they're going to announce that any day now. So he was thinking, that could get a spike off of that too. And he also just thought the selling pressure. I was talking to him when it was at 625, and he's like, you know what, man, I think this thing could be 650 by the end of the week. I was like, wow, that's just, everybody's thinking 600 and he's thinking 650. Well, he's looking pretty good on that now because the stock's trading up at 639. So I just got to start following him whatever he says on Apple. I guess we got to listen to. So I'll try to update you guys more with what he says on Apple because he
Yeah,
seems to know what he's talking about.
yeah, he's also a very active options trader, and we will try and get him on the show one day as a special guest. One area that I know it's a ways away from here and hard to think about, but we've had a break from 705.07 in the Apple down to 623. Double, a little bit over a 70-point break. If we take half of that, we could be back at 660 in a heartbeat. So that's that could be an area if we get a rebound off that 623 double low. We really didn't talk much about the market yesterday, Dennis. Broke through the 1444 support that we had a nice low, followed through to the downside. Couldn't quite get back in that 1420 handle. Are you a believer in this bounce this morning?
I'm skeptical. I like seeing Apple, but Apple's all so disconnected, it seems like the last
It
3 or 4 days.
was.
It's been disconnected here for the last 3 or 4 days from the overall market. And with a lot of other, Chevron not having good news, and that's been a driver for the market. And it kind of still scares me a bit. I think I still like this support area, the 1425 to 1427 area, which is 10 points lower, but we had about 3 or 4 bottoms there back in late September, September 26th or September 25th through the 28th. We had 3 or 4 bottoms at 1427 area, 1430 area. So I like the support better down there. I still think we might get down there eventually to test that support, and then maybe we could bounce off that.
Yeah, boy, they're not letting up on this Chevron. I see a 114.68 trade. Just to close out the show, folks, you got
Doesn't
to
look
take a
good.
look at you got to take a look at this 114 level. You had 3 bottoms, September 11th through the 13th, 114 even, 114.03, and 114.12. So that's going to be the bottom, maybe in Chevron
Maybe.
Corporation.
That's the bottom, maybe.
Trade me, maybe.
Maybe. That's our show for today, folks. Have a great trading day.